Sucks. Okay, so my testimony. I've always thought I had a pretty average testimony, nothing special, just a guy who went to church his whole life, grew up in a Christian home, never got in trouble or anything really. Um, Nothing like a drug addiction or alcoholism or partying and none of that crazy stuff. And it kind of always, I don't know, it kind of always bothered me because I wish I kind of had that big come to Jesus moment, but I realize my testimony, though seemingly average to me, still speaks volumes to the power of Jesus and his ability to save and turn people's lives around. And while it's no Kanye West story or testimony, um, like I said, I grew up in a Christian home. Was a pretty good kid all the time. Well, most of the time. Well behaved, never got in any serious trouble. Around junior high, high school, I started growing up, and that's kind of when I got that typical teenager prideful attitude, like I'm better than you, I know it all. And even then, I still pretty well behaved, didn't get in any trouble at school or sports. Did well in school, did well in sports, not a whole lot of issue there. But as that pride started to seep into my life, I started to get a little bit more rebellious in my heart. I started getting into trouble with my parents at home. Um, I started having really vulgar language around my friends at sports, and it started to get a little bit worse and worse. And then as I got into high school, I got into a really bad pornography addiction that lasted for quite a while. And my vulgar language got worse, my attitude got worse. And then around probably 16 or 17, that was kind of that time where parents were like, all right, it's up to you, you're old enough to make your own decisions. We've taught you what we can. We've brought you to church. We've shown you what it's like to live like a Christian, but we can't do it for you. It's on you. So I had my license. It was up to me whether I drove to church every week, and kind of just to avoid any trouble and arguments in the house, I went because I didn't want to have my parents mad at me every week. But around this time, I started going to Reliance, and right away got pretty plugged in, started to meet people, started discipling, first with Pastor Kyle, and then soon after with Pastor Darius. And once I started doing that, that's what really challenged me to live out what I said I believed. And I always believed in God, but just wasn't totally following him. And I was starting to learn what it really meant to live the life of a Christian, to die to my flesh and serve the Lord. And Darius was a big part of that. I started learning with him, and I started serving in VBS. I started serving in children's ministry at Reliance, which was awesome. I never thought I'd really enjoy that too much. Then after I graduated, Darius tricked me into serving in the junior high ministry, which I love now. But at the time, he definitely pulled a sneaky on me. But yeah, through this whole time, I was just growing and maturing in my faith, and actually, as they say, putting feet on my faith and really living out what I said I believed. It wasn't just a thing I did. It was a part of me. It wasn't just going to church on Sunday and I believe in God, say my prayer before dinner or whatever. It was, this is who I am. I've been saved by Christ. He died for me, and now I'm going to serve him and tell others about him. So it took a while, but I started learning and growing and being more bold in my faith. And also around this time, I'm 18 years old, graduating high school, trying to figure out my plans, career and school and all that. And I had plans, even though I had no direction and honestly no idea what I wanted to do. But I still had plans, and God quickly changed that and was giving me direction in my life like I'd never had ever. And it's amazing to look back and see what the road I could have gone down and the things that would have come from it, and to where God has put me now and where I'm going. And although at the time I didn't totally understand why certain doors were closing and certain things were happening, I can look back at it now and just say that it was totally God just directing my path. And I'm super thankful for that, because I could think of where I could be, and it wouldn't be too good. It probably would have turned into the testimony that I sometimes wish I had with the partying and the drugs and alcohol and all that. And now I'm thankful that the Lord has actually protected me from all that. I don't have to deal with any of that pain, and I can say the worst thing I ever did was, well, I'm not going to say that actually. um, but yeah, now I'm still being discipled by Darius, still going to Reliance, finishing off school and all that, but I'm still learning how to be more like Christ every day, how to die to myself every day, still growing and still loving the Lord.